if it would. There we go. Okay. So what you see here right now is what we call a demolition plan of the first floor. And the idea is I wonder how the best way to do this is. Okay. When you see the lines dashed, that would indicate, and also a hatching with like either a cross-hatching pattern or one at a diagonal, that indicates areas that we would remove. I wonder if it's easier for me to just kind of point.
What if you took a pointer and just stood up there and held a mic?
Okay. You want me to?
Try hold this. Does this have a long enough cord?
Take the one up there.
This one?
Yeah.
So I'm
That's a little too short. Try this one instead.
Let's see.
Don't worry, Tom, she won't take your job.
I know, right? Do you want to take my job?
Oh my God, what's that?
Getting rid of all of it. It's all going. All right. So the first idea is actually we originally didn't think we should touch anything here for no good reason. Can you hear me if I don't use the mic?
No, you need the mic.
I do need the mic. Okay, fine. All right. So the one possibility is to, in fact, break open in through the wall here. Okay, we would have to remove this cabinet. There's like a bit of a beam here. It's kind of a niche for cabinetry. The kitchen, if you're familiar with the area, it's two parts. There's the main part of the kitchen with the range, ice maker, main refrigerator, and a couple counters. This is the sink. And then there's this kind of butler's pantry area, which has a sink, some stainless cabinets. I'm sorry?
You're fine.
Okay, and some other cabinetry. It's not really used that much, and here's a locked closet. We also didn't want to touch the service stairs. This stairs goes up to the attic and down to the basement, and we just knew that if we actually did touch it, then we'd end up doing a lot more work scope-wise. So I'm just going to move over here. How long is this one? That
Up, down? No. What do we do?
it did pop up.
Okay.
Press the question mark button.
Where?
No. It's you. It's supposed to recognize you. There you go.
It popped up. This is a little tedious, sorry. Okay. So the proposal here then shows where we intend on putting the plan. All right, that's fine. All right. So anyway, you see the door to the exterior. Here. There would be some landscaping that would be required along the grass, which is indicated. It says permeable paver footpath. A new door saddle plus a little concrete step, because there's a height difference between exterior and interior. And you would walk in the entry and up the stairs. It's a switchback stair. And in order to fit all the equipment in the kitchen, it would be necessary to take over some of the kitchen area. We would have to move the range down, keep the plumbing here. We could put all the appliances along here. And then we would open up the wall here, keep the plumbing here, and then actually combine the kitchen so it's just one large area. The entrance into the kitchen for service then would be over here, through the existing entrance and then around into the main area. Thank you. It's like too short. When you get to the second floor, what you see is up the stairs, which would have to be fire enclosed, out into the hallway, and then this would connect to the rest of the upper floor. You'd be losing 2 offices in this case. Okay, and a closet. Well, yeah, they're actually, this is an office. This is used as a closet, and then there are little closets next door. So this would go away. This square area represents what would have to be reframed structurally. I don't like that. Okay. Oh, sorry. I just got this. I'm sorry, I don't know really how to use it. Why wouldn't it go back to? I don't understand this.
What are you trying to do?
I'm actually trying to get back to the other drawings, but it's not kind of recognizing.
Does it make sense just to try to describe it? The different options?
I think it's good to see it.
No, I think we need to see it. I just don't know why it's not going to it and allowing me to access the library. Anyone here have an iPad? Unfortunately, I'm PC-based, so this is like my first foray. There we go. Thank you. Sorry. Okay. All right. Now, this is the second option. That's pretty short. Okay. Can you see from here if I don't zoom in and out? Because it's, or do you need me to expand it? Okay. All right. So the second option is, upon discussion with the bishop, because we talked about the exterior area costing more money, so on and so forth, and that in fact this area, which is like kind of the maintenance guy's office, there's a vestibule into the main kitchen, that actually we could change this, and then we could use the main entrance here. There's like some parking and like a on-ramp, So if we would get rid of these walls, only because of this one has to be fire rated, this one we were going to move back, and then some of the cabinetry again, which would have to be removed over there, and the same offices in the first plan that you saw, we could actually have a straight run stair, which is a little bit easier actually to build structurally. We're moving this office, we're making it a little bit smaller, closing this window, and so there would be the main entrance in, a stair that goes straight up and then makes a turn and then out here. And then same relationship to the rest of the building. And in this case, you have, on the first floor, you don't actually have to touch this area if you don't want to. There's no radiator work that would have to be done. The appliances could stay where they need to stay. And so on and so forth. So this is actually, in fact, the kind of the least expensive plan. However, in terms of use of the Crawford Mansion and catering.
So wait, on this plan, on the second floor, are we going to lose any space on the second floor?
Yes, we do. We lose the exact same amount of space that we would for in the scheme A,
Okay.
which would be these two offices, and in fact that this. Yeah, you don't actually really use that closet. We actually combine it with this office.
So which two offices?
It becomes a larger closet.
Bishop, is that the office? Is that which two offices would that be?
Well, it's not really offices. The first room, the room on the left, on top left there, is right now a storage closet. And the last room is the office that Frank DeLeo typically uses. That's where he does his paperwork and so forth.
And in discussion with the security, not the maintenance guys there, they said it would take them half a day to move the storage stuff in here and then just rearrange the office in the other one, in one of the other rooms.
The two closets on the bottom, or the two storage rooms on the bottom, are used by Rybrook Recreation for storage of their summer camp materials.
What about the area that Rybrook Rec uses for the children with special needs? Remember we discussed that.
That's actually elsewhere in some of the rooms that are elsewhere in the mansion. That's what we're trying to access, really, is to be able to make those rooms legitimate. All right, so that's where the insurance company had said that we didn't have two forms of egress, and as a result, the concept of public use of that space would represent a potential fire hazard.
Okay.
Okay, so do you have any other questions about this particular scheme?
I do.
Okay.
That staircase coming up, what are we looking at? A straight run, a 20-foot ceiling?
No, the ceiling is actually it's less than 12 feet, the height of the stairs. So it's a straight, exactly. There's an intermediate landing.
Okay.
Right there.
And then there's another landing near the top so that we could make a right turn with the stair.
Okay, so the ceiling is ultimately complementing the angle of the stairs?
Yes, there's enough
It's
clearance.
not bolted straight up.
I don't know what you mean by that when you say bolted straight up.
So if we're coming up those stairs, there's really no need to have anything above you. You can carry that wall that's behind you straight up
Yes.
to the top. So
Yes.
ultimately it's bolted.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. Yes, now I do. Yes.
So the benefit of this, what I'm seeing, is that you can actually use the staircase in this fashion, and if you could incorporate on the wall that's part of the kitchen, if we can put some openings in there, we'll still be able to gain some sunlight through the staircase area.
I see what you're saying. This wall actually comes up here. Not there. I can't quite reach it.
Uh-oh.
I think I know what happened.
Just top the thing. Just top it. Yeah.
All right, we got that.
Right. So, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. This wall actually, it continues along up to the bottom of this. It's a fire-rated wall, which we would need actually, a 1-hour fire-rated wall.
Okay.
And then the floor is above on this area, so we couldn't have a 2-story. If that's what you're saying, we couldn't necessarily have a 2-story wall. Could not.
Okay.
Yeah, could not. But actually, these kitchen areas are extremely well lit. I mean, there are quite a few windows in there. And part of the scheme would also require moving any additional electrical. If it requires adding additional lighting, then that, in order to make it usable.
Okay, thank you.
So you're not going to take out that bay of windows that faces out over the baseball field in the kitchen?
We're going to close up those windows.
So they will be enclosed?
They will be closed because they're actually cut in the middle of the stair run. The stairs go up next to it. In the other scheme, there are other windows that need to be closed. So, is that it? No. Okay, in this scheme here, we have to lose this window. These windows will actually be, we can hold the stairs off and you could keep them open, but they'll be partially actually kind of through the stairs, if that makes sense.
Those are the same windows in the kitchen?
Yes. So you'll be looking at the side of the stairs, and one could close them off or not. It depends on how one could build this independently of the wall. And in the other one, you're still walking past those. So you do have to close them, and then we have to make another opening here.
So you're going to actually still change the outside integrity of the building?
Yeah, we're suggesting keeping the frames on the exterior, and then actually just filling them up on the infilling them. You could paint them white. There's 2 ways you can do it. That would be the less expensive way. You'd infill it with insulated panels, waterproof, and cover, and then paint it white to match the house. The other way to do it is you could actually take off the frames, and then you could actually take off some of the siding and weave in new siding painted to match as well.
I don't think there's siding on the house, is there?
It's wood siding. There's wood siding there.
Wood siding,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
12-inch wood siding.
Could you go back to the straight stair plan?
Sure.
And spread it out a little bit? I just want to make one point.
Okay.
Yeah, what I want to do, I'll talk loud. What I want to do is I want to make one point here, and that is that what we looked at on this side was the ability to be able to close off the kitchen here with an alarm door, and this become the main entrance to go upstairs. So now the various groups that we have, and we have a number of small groups that meet there, they would be able to access through here and go right upstairs, and the downstairs would more or less be closed off. and it would allow us to, frankly, let these people use the place in a more convenient fashion, and a little bit less in terms of labor intensive because the whole place is not opened up, just the upstairs is open.
You need the means of egress through the other stairwell into the main.
Well, yeah, that's still available because all we need to do there is on the secure door that's there, they would be able to push out. Certainly that would be an alarm door, but if in the case of a fire incident or some other emergency, they would literally just push the panic bar and be able to go down the stairs.
Also, one other note about the windows, if there's concern about covering them, obviously any kind of exterior stair would also then affect the exterior of the building and probably impinge on the light coming in there as well.
What's that storage room
Just-
north of that stairwell there?
It's actually just filled with toilet paper and cleaning supplies.
That's the supply room, if you will, for all the events that are there. Trash bags, cleaning supplies, toilet paper, paper towels.
There's actually quite a bit of storage supplies spread out over various rooms that could be consolidated with just smarter shelving, so on and so forth.
Could you please show us where the fire exits are, please?
In the whole building?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
If you're going to change things, you've got to have fire exits and not just the stairs.
Well, no,
Because
go with
if there's a fire and at the bottom of the stairs, where do we go? How do we get out?
Goldie, this is exactly what she's presenting to us.
Well, that's what I'd like to know, where the fire
No,
exits
that's
are.
exactly what she's showing you.
Actually, this would
be...
That's the fire exit. If you're going down the stairs.
But suppose you're on the top of the stairs.
That's it.
And you can't get down the stairs because there is a fire.
If there's
How do you get out?
Right. So by code, one needs for this type of building about 2 means of egress. So if there's a fire at the bottom of the stairs blocking the egress,
Get out.
there's actually the existing main stair that's in the center of the building. That is the second means of egress.
Will you show me where it is?
It's not on this plan because it's
Just to
over
give you an
here.
idea, it's way over here.
Right here.
I understand that, but if you can't get down there because there is a fire, the kitchen is right there. And if there is a fire and you're upstairs, how do you get out?
There's a main...
Bishop, just show where it sort of...
Remember Mrs. Crawford's old electric...
No, I don't want to hear that.
Bishop,
no,
Bishop,
Where-
just...
not on the
Mrs.
plan.
Crawford was
show
a long
where-
time
Yeah, I
ago.
did.
Remember
And this is today.
the electric chair used to go up the staircase?
Only want to know about today.
I'm telling you
If
about
she's
today.
changing
Do
it
you
now,
remember the electric
we
chair
gotta
used to go to
have,
the second floor?
we gotta have
Goldie?
exits.
That's the same exact staircase that you
Draw,
come down.
draw this down a
I
little
wanna
bit.
hear
Make it
that.
smaller.
Exclusive of
Oh,
the
yeah,
electric
sure.
chair.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You want to go?
Goldie, what you're seeing here is the mansion runs all the way over here. And then somewhere, and ignore this for the moment, but this piece right here runs all the way over here. There are a number of rooms upstairs. The main stairway in relation to that is around here. Okay? And you would come down the main stairway and you would go out the main door. All right, there are any number of doors downstairs.
So there's another stairway.
There's a whole nother stairway that already exists.
And we're not
The
touching
problem
that.
is there's only one.
As long as you can get out.
Right.
In case of a
So that's
fire.
why we want to put a second one in.
Well, I'm on code enforcement, and I'd like to know how we would get out if there were fires in different areas.
There's 4 doors on the main floor.
There are several fire doors on the main floor. Exactly right.
Yeah, but we're upstairs. You keep talking about the main floor.
So-
I'm talking about upstairs.
But Bishop, you got to explain the whole, we're putting in the second staircase, that's the point.
Yeah.
We're putting
We
in
only,
the second.
right now, Goldie, we only have one set of stairs to get out of the second floor.
I understand
What we're
that,
doing
but
now
if there's
is
a fire
this-
there, you can't get out.
Well, we're putting in a second set of stairs to allow for that extra safety factor. That's what the second set of stairs is. That's what we're trying to plan, is a second set on the other side of the mansion, meaning this end, the kitchen end of the mansion, to be able to go out. There is already a set of stairs on the opposite side of the mansion.
Okay.
That's already there.
Okay, as long as we can get out.
Great. So those are the options?
There's one more. I mean, if there's concern about the actual kitchen getting smaller.
is a concern.
All right. In this case, this one is a combination of the two plans. I'm just going to show it. All right. In this particular case, we see the same set of stairs, the same enclosures, same exit, so on and so forth. And all we've done here is taken out the wall and the little closet here, and then there's a little pass-through here. So we're taking out this entire wall, and then just making it one large kitchen for a caterer to use however they see fit. There's some cabinetry, we can keep those, we'll keep the plumbing here, keep the plumbing there. And in fact, in this particular scheme, this one and as well as B, the only thing we're moving is the refrigerator and then a plumbing line for the water, line into the refrigerator. Everything else, we don't have to change the range, we don't have to move the hood, we don't have to move any of the other appliances like the ice maker or the other refrigerator which may have water lines. And so we actually did get some pricing for the three schemes. We saw B being obviously the most, we saw that as being the cheapest, and that was confirmed by some cost estimates. And then C, which is a combination of A and B, so to speak, because of the kitchen area, being the second least expensive, and then A, the one I first showed you, being as the most expensive. And I can show you also that. So I'm not actually pleased with this right now.
First one. That's when she has to breath.
Okay. This is probably going to be a little bit small for you to read. But if I go through the columns, this is a description of the item. So, for instance, there's demolition and protection, permits, structural work, stairs, there's some door work, door replacement, partitions, which means walls. There'll be some new tiling, patching, new tiling at the second floor, some wood floor patching on the second floor, like a bit of closet work, miscellaneous electric, infilling of various windows. There's a relocation of plumbing lines, relocation of hood, vent, and range, painting overall for the area, a radiator relocation, exterior site work pavers, exterior concrete step-in. Generally what a typical GC fee, overhead, and profit would be. So option A actually kind of covers all of these, and we can go through the numbers specifically, but right now tentative cost estimates are about $70,495. Option B doesn't require, for instance, relocation of the hood in the range, doesn't require radiator work, no exterior site work, and then no concrete step, and that comes at about $55,545. And then C, which includes a little additional kitchen work, taking off some of the walls that separate the butler's pantry and the kitchen, brings the price to about $61,870.
Is there any projection on how long any of the building will not be available for the typical activities that go on there?
Actually, I would estimate, it depends on the scheme, obviously, and when the project starts, because, for instance, if there's exterior work, if it would start now, for instance, then you're getting the winter, you don't want to do that kind of work. So that would drag on a little longer. I would say probably about 2.5 months.
Wait a second. 2.5 months to put a staircase in?
Yeah, but they have to put the stair in, and they have to patch and do the walls and the tile work, and sometimes some things can't occur until other things happen. So, I mean, if everyone does everything perfectly, no mistakes, so on and so forth, could it be done faster? Sure. But, I think that's a realistic time period. Now, how it's being used, I mean, if it's important, one can consider phasing certain things. Like, for instance, if you need to use the kitchen so that, in fact, events could occur for the main area on the first floor, perhaps we can have areas partitioned off, a temporary barrier like you've seen at, hospitals or airports, so that we can just figure out, manage how caterers can come in and out, do their setup, and there's still plenty of room in that kitchen for, I think, the general caterer for most events. I think that, because that's really, most of the income is coming from larger events, I'm guessing, for the main floor?
Yes, if that's what we're basing it on.
Right.
I just personally have a problem thinking that this project is going to be 2.5 months. So.
I mean, we've hired no contractor. We have no schedule exactly from them. And we can talk about that with various people if we send this out to bid, and get schedules. You could have penalties if you needed for timing. I mean, and we would try to work it out with if there's any slow period or not in the rental of the place. I know events are probably scheduled in advance, so it won't be during May and June, May and June and the holiday seasons in December. So,
Thank you.
One question: is there any way that, for example, you could have work done on during the week, but then a larger area would be opened up on the weekend? Or that isn't really doable with construction.
No, I mean, it might be doable. Like, as I said, when a place is occupied, what a contractor needs to do is that he needs to end a little earlier to make sure clean up and so on and so forth. So if it's, depending on there may be a few weeks in the project where that may be difficult, but that may be manageable for other time periods. And I think that it would just make sense if once we decide on what the scope of work is, then, get the bids, and then before anything starts, really plan with the contractor how they're going to do various things. And, that seems like it's very legitimate and very important to handle. But yeah, you can phase work and make certain things, open and then not open, and just make sure the contractor cleans up his area and, puts everything away, keeps it safe.
Very good. And so what you're waiting for now is direction from us?
Yes.
Okay.
And if you have, obviously, I mean, this is, a collaborative project. I mean, obviously, so these are 3 schemes, and if you have any issues with one part or another of a very scheme or want to see variations or other alternatives, I mean, then, you just need to let me know and we can try to work things out. In my discussions with Bishop, he said, what if you do this, what if you do that? And this is possible, that is, there's some structural issues here that may end up being more complicated. So, we're not necessarily covering in this kind of presentation all that has been discussed.
Is there any way you can use more of the existing stairwell that's there right behind that and save some space?
That little stair, if we would use that, then we would actually have to build the stair up higher and then also go down into the cellar. Because that's the only access from the interior of the building up into the attic as well as down into the cellar. So it does complicate the project more. It's doable, but when I say complicated, that actually has a money ramification because there's a lot of plumbing and structure work and so on and so forth, and then that would you're more reframing. Either of these schemes that we saw earlier, there may be additional lolly columns or whatever going on in the cellar, but it's not anything major structurally.
Well, I was just wondering if it were possible to move that stairwell back and maybe gain the use of one of the storage areas or Frank Alia's office, whatever that is, in the corner. You might gain additional office space upstairs if you're able to make additional use of that stairwell. And that stairwell becomes redundant, I guess, at some level, right? You still need to get down in the basement and up to the attic, right? So between the first floor and the second floor, it's redundant.
Is there any place we could put an elevator for disabled people to get up there?
If we would make to put in an elevator would probably add about $20,000 to the project.
That would be in a hydraulic elevator?
Yeah, probably that would be the least expensive.
2 people?
Yeah, I mean, there's these chair lifts that if you made the stair wider, you could just maybe have a chair lift going up the side.
That will help disabled people is very important.
Right. If you want to add an elevator or do something like that, we would have to...
The chairlift could be something that could be added on at a future date, right?
Yeah, we would just then plan for the stairs to be wide enough so that you have enough... I'm so sorry. This is like insane.
It's a good idea, Goldie.
Thank you. As a nurse, that's the way I feel.
Okay, Goldie,
Take care of all the
she doesn't really need to be on the board. She's already. Great. Well, listen, thank you so much for that presentation. Any other questions from the board?
I just have one question.
Yep.
What Councilman Yoris is he had some excellent points. Could possibly you just go over what he was asking with the scheme in front of us? It might be a little easier for everyone to understand,
Sure.
including in the viewing audience.
Okay, which question?
One right